This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Mm-hmm. Dun 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 dun.
No. Y'all, just stop. This is a sham.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Lindsay in for Jeff. What's going on, guys? What's today? Tuesday? Happy Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a star-studded and family affair as Serena Williams played her first tennis match in the final U.S. Open tournament. Hopefully she's just kidding us and she's going to come back. Serena won the match in straight sets yesterday. Her family was there to cheer her on, including her cute daughter, Olympia, who twinned with her mom. Olympia also wore similar braids in her hair that Serena wore when she first won the U.S. Open back in 1999. Also, everybody knows Venus Williams also for those braids. Stars were also packing the stands to see her play, like Hugh Jackman and his wife, along with Lindsey Vonn and Anthony Anderson. Vogue editor with that bob and those shades, Anna Wintour, was spotted sitting in style. And check this out. It looked like Bill Clinton might have been getting some advice from Dr. Ruth. What do you guys think they were talking about? But there was also a case of mistaken identity in the stands involving actress Laverne Cox. Laverne reposted a tweet that identified her as Beyonce. Clearly flattered, she tweeted, "Not me being mistaken for Beyonce." I love that. Mistake me for Beyonce any day. Erica?
Hey, I like to be mistaken for Kelly Rowland.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But either one, I wouldn't be mad if someone mistook me for Beyonce.
I would be okay with Barbra Streisand, anything like that as well. I just wanted to say the braids gave me the chills. When I think of Serena and Venus and them walking out, those white braids changed the face of tennis forever and gave a lot of people a lot of hope that someone like me can play. And it's an amazing thing she did for her daughter.
The beads.
The beads are the best. Yes, that's what I meant. The beads. Those white beads, they kind of came on and everyone's like, wow. And then they just played like.
See, I don't know if I would have played it the same way she did. I might have been like, can I go one day without being mistaken for Beyonce? I would just play it like that. I'd just go every single day. It's like,
if I had a nickel, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Are any of you guys hoping that Serena does like a Tom Brady, Jay-Z kind of Michael Jordan thing and doesn't really retire, even though she's not using the word?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see that. I actually wanted to ask you guys about this because I think once she had her daughter, and it happens to a lot of people, like you're like, I want to be the most famous, insert here, and then she did it, without a doubt, the GOAT, there's no discussion. But then her daughter comes in, and you noticed her play dropped off a little bit because there was something that she cared about way more. And I think it's a crisis of, like, you know, your time and your head isn't there because you're not focused like a 20-year-old Serena. You're focused on, like, there's this thing that I'm not with that I want to be with.
I would agree with that, but also, you know, she was forced off of breastfeeding prematurely. She didn't want to stop breastfeeding.
Yeah, there was some health issues.
She had to stop breastfeeding in order because her body was holding on to more fat than what was conducive to her playing at the highest level, and she still pushed through that. Wow. I mean, there were so many different, you know, health issues when she had her child, but she's also expressed interest in having another child. And, like, you know, if your focus is shifting, and she's done interviews that has really said a lot about defining that next chapter, and I think a lot of athletes fail to do so in a lot of ways because it becomes such your identity that you don't believe you can do anything else. Like, Serena has been everywhere. You know, she has her own fashion line, and she was just like opening, you know, the New York Stock Exchange. She does a lot of philanthropy. She's a boss. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that, like, allude to her next chapter.
Right. So whatever she chooses to do next, we got her back.
Yes.
We support her.
Yes, we do.
Chris Rock reportedly addressed the infamous slap once again during a comedy show. While on stage in Arizona, Chris said he was asked to host the Oscars next year, but he said that would be like Nicole Brown Simpson returning to the restaurant. If you don't know what restaurant, it's a reference to her murder, which happened after leaving an Italian restaurant. Chris also revealed he was asked to do a Super Bowl commercial after being slapped on stage, but also refused that offer. So, Al, I'm thinking Doritos, I'm thinking Millions, Pepsi. I might have took the deal, but
I think he's thinking bigger. You know, I think what Chris Rock has is more leverage than any comic has ever had when negotiating their next special. Everybody on this panel, in this room, that we all know is going to watch that special because he has this leverage over all of us where we really haven't heard from him exactly how he feels. And if he turns that narrative over to a Super Bowl commercial or to any other entity and let them tell his story, well, then that's the narrative we're all going with. If Doritos makes it a big joke and has a big hand come through, well, then this is farcical. If somebody makes it super dramatic and dark, well, well, then that's the narrative we're going to go with. So right now, he holds all the cards, and I think it's more than whatever check that Doritos or whoever can make.
Yeah, I got to agree with Al on this one, like 100% here. I got thinking, that'd be a great idea. The tortilla slap with Chris Rock and Will Smith and all that, but it lessens it. It makes the whole thing a joke. It makes it not really his.
Right.
And I think when you have gone through something, having someone else paint the mood of it. And he's a writer. I mean, he knows how to speak his own voice. Don't take that voice away from me. That's mine, and it's a very expensive mine.
Yes.
Well, Erica, are you surprised that he got asked to do the Oscars again? Like after he got slapped in front of the whole world?
Knew that would happen.
Absolutely. We were anticipating that. And I was also anticipating all the companies coming forward and being like, let us tell your story. This is what people need to understand. And I hope that for folks at home, too, that you understand how it can play out in your life. Much to the point of what is yours, like this is an opportunity not based on like let me capitalize on what was truly an embarrassing moment for him, but it's the idea of ownership, owning your story.
Right.
And so by doing it in a special, which I mean I think the blowback is that it's taking longer, and I understand as a comedian he has to travel and figure out what he's going to say and do all of these things, and a special doesn't happen overnight. But I do believe that when it does happen, there are going to be people who are like, it's too late, I don't want to hear about it anymore, but the vast majority of the people are going to be like, let me hear directly from this person the way he wants to tell it, unmanipulated by anybody outside.
Amen.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of pressure because we're all waiting. Well,
Like
maybe just me.
No, we all are.
Right.
We all are.
Okay, so we're getting another look at the Weird Al movie starring Daniel Radcliffe, which parodies Weird Al's rise to fame. Take a look.
We gotta find you a stage name. Al Yankovic. It's long, it's hard to pronounce. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. Weird Al Yankovic.
I love it.
Weird Al has taken the world by storm.
Do I know you?
Madonna.
That's Rainn Wilson from The Office playing the radio host Dr. Demento.
Sure.
Roll the prompter. I don't know what's next. Okay. Who's Weird Al's mentor? And Evan Rachel Wood plays Madonna, who apparently seduces Weird Al in the movie. So Tori, you were like coming out your seat. Are you excited to see this or what?
I am. I love Weird Al. First of all, he came into Salt and Straw when I was scooping ice cream. Could not have been kinder. Could not have been nicer. But I will say, I think it's going to be a fun movie, a weird, quirky movie. And I couldn't believe Quinta Brunson, who we love from Abbott, is playing Oprah, and she kind of does very well. I'm pretty harsh on if it's a good lookalike. That was a good shot.
Well, I think Quinta, I mean, I know her personality a little bit from when she was on BuzzFeed.
Right.
Like, she has that, like, awkward black girl Issa Rae type of so this movie is, like, perfect for her to have a role in. I was super excited to see her face because I had no idea who the full cast was.
Yeah, I was a little put off when I saw this because, you know, I really looked and I was like, why didn't Tori play Madonna? You've already done it. You already played Madonna in a once-off in Japan.
Wait, huh?
You never saw that?
Please.
Yes, Tori, tell the people.
It's a Japanese biopic. It took 3 days, and I played Madonna. There was not a lot of big budget, but a lot of people saw
But you flew to Japan to do it?
No, we did it kind of guerrilla style in New York City, and there was a bad wig and a lot of laughs.
I will say this randomly. I did At Midnight with Weird Al Yankovic. Like you said, nicest guy ever. And I'll have a pic on my Instagram so people can look at it. But every year since I've done that, he sent a Christmas card.
Wow.
He's that kind of guy, like a weird kind of.
So nice.
He's a super cool. It's like he lives in his own skin.
I feel like I need better celebrity stories. You got a signed picture over there. You got Christmas cards, and you ran into who on the street the other day? You were saying, no, it was years ago before you and Brooks got married.
Oh, Richard Simmons.
Yes, like I don't have any stories like this.
That's right.
What's going on?
No, Lindsay, she stopped his car and took a picture through an open cab window.
She said that he stopped
He
her.
yelled at us.
Well, he was in traffic,
Revisionist
Erica,
history,
that's
maybe?
weird. Yeah.
He yelled at me.
All right, coming up on DBL, our interview with the hilarious and talented Joel McHale. And Meghan Markle is talking about her strained relationship with the royal life.
Ooh. That's a cool.
Closed captioning provided by.
I think it is one of those stories we're all going to be like, what?
So raised you.
Why am I right all the time?
Am I going crazy?
Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
he a good singer?
Our EP Chris is talking about Weird Al. He said also his band is amazing. He is just like, I don't know if we consider him ground zero for nerds. But he was just a guy that embraced, it seemed like his weird culture. I remember his movie UHF. And just like these movies that I think would probably get shot down today because people are like, no one's going to watch this.
But there's a weird cult group that he tuned into, that Dr. Demento, if you don't know, the radio host, tuned into. And it was the people who just are like really bizarre, and no one was representing them. The accordion, the weird glasses, the curls. And finally this guy did, and he just took over in his parodies. What's your favorite? Eat Me? Beat Me? Eat Me?
He's quite clearly the king of parody songs.
Eat it.
Who else could you even name another one?
Yeah, and especially like I think his also charted.
In the early
like
70s that did it, but
his charted. Like they were like songs
They were like
that were on
up
the
there,
radio.
yeah. Do you remember a Weird Al song that you like? I liked Eat It, and I liked the one in the
You sound like a big
in
fan.
the doctor's office.
Like a Surgeon.
Like a Surgeon.
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna let Al pick one for me.
Like that's very funny.
I mean, if you think
Like
about it, he spoke to bizarre people the way like the Blue Collar tour spoke to folks in the Midwest,
Like
the way
That's
the
right.
Kings of Comedy spoke to black folks. These are groups of people that were not being talked to.
Kings
Weird
of
Al,
Comedy?
Yeah, I mean, think about that. No one thought that would work, and now all of a sudden
Do you
they're
think
doing
Kings of
arenas.
Comedy, as vulgar as it was, would work today?
Smells like Nirvana.
And Queen. You think it would work?
I think it would work, but I think now we've seen
You think
a lot
Kings
of
of
those
Comedy
artists.
would work today?
Famously wanted to go Prince Pig.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so offending.
Prince was pretty protected.
No, I mean with like how far they went. They went like really far. Like Richard
I think
Pryor.
they could.
Welcome back. Meghan Markle is once again speaking out about her break from the royal family. During her chat with the magazine The Cut, Meghan dished on her strained relationship with royal life. While a royal, she revealed that she was expected to share pictures of her son Archie with the British media, but refused because of their racist coverage of her. So she also thought that she could act the part as a princess, obviously as an actress, because of her profession. Meghan also said that while she lost her dad due to toxic tabloid culture, it doesn't have to be the same for Harry and his father, Prince Charles. She also said that she and Harry wanted to have jobs and make their own money, which is reasonable, but she was told that they weren't allowed to do that, even though she said other members of the royal family have 9-to-5 jobs.
That's what shocked me. What?
Yeah, I'm like, is it like the William and Kate? Because I know that they're like more charity affiliated than full-time jobs, but I don't know specifically. So
yeah, I don't know either. Maybe Anne or someone else has, or some other people do. But does this not ring like such bells for you about the Diana interview a little bit? It just brings me back of Diana being like, I tried to do this. I tried to do this. I tried to introduce philanthropy. I tried to go to the people. And the royals were like, no, 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 no. It's just an interesting parallel between the People's Princess and Meghan Markle and the difficulties that have not shifted. Apparently, these royals have not shifted from Diana. They are still staying that way.
Yeah, well, I got to play devil's advocate here because this backs up what I've always said is that being a princess is weird and no one likes that. You know, like when you're on vacation and like some guy brings your bags up and he's like, what else? And you're like, please leave it. This is weird. You know, you're being too nice and I don't deserve this. Imagine if your whole life was like that. I think it's weird and a lot of people back away from it. But on the other hand, Erica, should she have known this, that she was going to be expected to be a princess and not be a Netflix EP podcast guru, like she's expected to carry out these duties? Should she have known this going in?
I think if she had married William, but definitely not that she married Harry. I mean, think about who Harry could have married. I mean, think about it.
That sounds like a movie on Lifetime.
Who Harry could have married. Like, Harry there was no shortage of women who were like, I will fit this role and I will shut up. I will do whatever I am told in order to have this title that is all I care about.
Coming to America.
Harry was like, no, I want a woman who has her own mind and a woman who stimulates me on an intellectual level, someone who has something else going on. So I think that in theory, the thought probably was that if they were in it together, that they would be able to change the system because there was so much fanfare leading up to it. It wasn't until they didn't comply with the wishes of the monarchy that they became a problem. So I do think that coming in with very high hopes and optimism, especially because the world was behind them until there was a shift in the media in order to destroy them. And that's truly what happened. We all saw it in real time. This isn't something that we have to think about. Where were we when Harry and Meghan Mexited or whatever? You know, it's like.
Can I throw one more quick question? So then is it on Harry, Tori, or Lindsay to have not prepped her well enough to be like, I can't say Erica can do DBL,
why would he
and you can say whatever you want?
Harry has had a history of having some setbacks, and he has gotten the grace and been able to win favor over. So why wouldn't he have thought that bringing in not only his wife, but children, he wouldn't be able to figure out a way to make that work within the firm as well?
Yeah, but I think he thought he could.
I don't know. I think he thought he could have.
I think they thought they both could modernize the monarchy, and we all did too. The problem is, as soon as they didn't comply, they ate them up. They just ate them up in the press.
Another issue is that, like, even if you're an actress, you can't be on all day.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
right.
got to have a normal part of your life. So that whole acting hit me really hard because it's hard to like stay on. You know what I mean? So speaking of the royal family, tomorrow we'll be looking back at the life of the late Princess Diana on the 25th anniversary of her death.
Wow.
Stephanie Jones is going to join us on the panel to talk about how Britain will be remembering the people's princess. And coming up next on DBL, actor and comedian Joel McHale tells us the latest on a possible Community movie. Our interview with him is next.
Whether you love it or hate it, pumpkin spice season is here, and people are using the flavoring in all sorts of foods and drinks. But despite its popularity, some people are still confused about what actually goes into the pumpkin spice seasoning in a pumpkin spice latte. This person on Twitter claims there isn't any pumpkin in pumpkin spice. But is that true? Let's verify. We spoke to a spice expert, a licensed dietitian and nutritionist, and spice manufacturer McCormick & Company to get to the bottom of this.
There is no pumpkin in the spice, but it's a blend of different spices that historically were used with pumpkin in pumpkin pies or pumpkin puddings.
The blend usually contains 4 to 5 other spices you probably have in your cabinet: cinnamon, ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice. Spice giant McCormick & Company first introduced a commercial pumpkin pie spice to the US in 1934. The goal was to flavor pumpkin pie all in one container, rather than bakers needing to get each individual spice. So we can verify, no, pumpkin spice does not contain any pumpkin. But despite the lack of pumpkin-y goodness in pumpkin spice, both Frisch and Andrew say it's still possible the latte drink that you order may in fact contain pumpkin these days. And as it turns out, we can verify that the PSL at Starbucks has both pumpkin spice seasoning, which does not contain pumpkin, and real pumpkin. It says so right here on the drink's ingredient list. With your Verify and my very own pumpkin spice latte, I'm Ariane Till. That's not bad.
Welcome back to DBL. We hope you're ready to laugh because earlier we sat down with actor, television host, and comedian who you love from The Soup and Community, Joel McHale. We even formed our own football team with a mascot. How's that for an exclusive? Check it out. Welcome back to DBL, Joel McHale. Yeah, Joel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joel,
Thank you.
Are you in a classroom?
Yes, this is technically a classroom. I have my own school.
Okay.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
You and LeBron.
I think though, Joe, when you said I have my own school for a second, you were like, should I start my own school? Yeah. I would go to that school. Let's just see this open enrollment. Let me know. Text me.
That's great. Let's start a football team. We'll have like a varsity football team, just 2 guys.
There we go.
Yeah, we're gonna be called the Tiny Hats. The Tiny Hats.
right, I gotta get right to this. You're gonna be in our neck of the woods, Denver, Colorado, with your boy, friend of the show and star of Community, Ken Jeong soon. Now we know Ken's a doctor. Let's be honest. Have you ever tried to use this to your advantage?
As we all know, Ken was thrown out of medicine because he injured so many people. And Ken is, that's what really upsets me about Ken is that he's so funny. And on top of everything else, he was a doctor for 12 years. I have no other skills other than making tiny hat jokes. And so he actually has helped a couple people on set, including the great Joe Russo of Marvel fame. He and Anthony Russo directed all the huge, Endgame and Infinity War and all that.
Heard of those.
He diagnosed Joe's leg pain and saved him a trip to the hospital. So that really happened.
Whoa. Wow. Okay. All right, so let's talk Community, because Community's creator, Dan Harmon, came out to say the Community movie is not a matter of if, but when.
Yes.
So, who would you say out of the cast is most excited about this?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I was going to say if not, it's going to be when, and we've already have a timeline of 37 years, so we're very excited.
Let's sync our watches.
I'm going to say I'm going to go back to Ken. Ken is really excited because he needs the money.
He needs it. Oh man,
he is broke.
Speaking of exciting things, you're coming back as Starman for season 3 of Stargirl, and I mean, literally, you're going to come back from the dead. I've just been hearing all these rumors online that Stargirl is just the best superhero show on TV right now. I assume you agree. Can you tell us a little about it?
We're going to get you on a good.
I would completely agree. Breck Bassinger is a superstar, and she plays Stargirl, and then you got your movie star Luke Wilson and Amy Smart, and you also have the cast is super talented, created by Jeff Johns, but it is in the DC universe. And I, as you said, I come back from the dead. I mean, I must because I'm in the show this season. But I think it's one of those things where there was a lot of superhero shows and there was a lot of noise, and this one just consistently is. I think they're incredibly well told stories, and you'll see. Give it a chance and catch up on the other 2 seasons because it's a really good show. I know when I'm on a crappy show, I'll be happy to tell you.
Tell me about it.
But this one is really good.
If you right now had any superpowers, what would you say it would be?
Normally people are smoking pot when this question's asked. Okay.
No, I'm not high.
Okay, so I guess my power would be getting people to smoke pot. What did you say? I'm confused by the question. No, I was thinking my superpower would be to start schools and 2-man football teams instantly like that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right. The tiny hats.
Yeah, probably that.
Okay. Tiny hats.
The tiny hats would be back. I would go with Starman. It would be. I would take the cosmic staff, but the tiny hat football team also very powerful.
Mazel tov. No one's going to that school, Joel. No. Nobody. Thank you, Joel.
How dare you? How dare you? He will beat you in the playoffs.
Nope.
Thank you.
No one's going.
Joel, we appreciate you. DBL Nation, make sure you check out season 3 of DC Stargirl, premiering August 31st on the CW. We will be right back. Thanks, Joel.
Watch it.
Tiny hats.
Thank you, guys.
Promotional Consideration is brought to you by
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans? Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do. So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
At some point while searching for information about the DMV or other government services, you've probably ended up on a website like this one that claims to help drivers renew their license or change their address. But it's not a real government website. Instead, people were duped into paying money for what appeared to be government services, but were instead informational websites that sold user data and charged fees for guides that contained publicly available information. The Federal Trade Commission says this site and more than 200 others like it were shams run by a company called On Point Global. Verify viewer Benjamin received this postcard that claims he's entitled to a refund from On Point Global and wants to know if it's true. So Benjamin, let's verify. Is the settlement for victims of the On Point Global scam real? Our sources are the FTC and court documents filed in the lawsuit of FTC v. On Point Global and its subsidiaries. In 2021, the FTC won a lawsuit against On Point Global, ordering the company to shut down their sites and pay out $85 million to its victims. People who were affected were sent postcards and emails with instructions on how to file a claim. So, yes, the settlement for victims of the On Point Global scam is real. Victims must make a claim by September 7th using the link on the FTC's website. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. So Netflix is turning 25 this week. So back in 1997, the streaming service started as a mail-order DVD service. Remember that? Now, a decade later, it started streaming movies on demand, but didn't create its own content until 2013 with the show House of Cards.
That was the first?
I know. Can anyone guess what the first Netflix DVD sent was back in 1997?
I have a guess just because I'm thinking about the mentality. You want something, this is a new service, so I feel like they took Ghostbusters.
That's good.
16 Candles.
I say Titanic. You're right around that time
that's
period.
good.
I say Jurassic Park.
What's the, okay.
Okay, I don't know why. Here it is. Beetlejuice.
That's a good one.
That's so random.
I wonder who got that.
That's a good one.
Okay, DBL's new every day. We'll see you guys same place, same time tomorrow.
Beetlejuice. I won't say it. I love how Al